only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease, so talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ-FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. I'm gonna get there, yes, somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear. I believe in you. I believe in me. Oh yeah. I believe that we can make this dream a reality. Yeah, yeah. Now's the time to be. Now's the time for miracles. Oh, it's in my heart so deep. 'Cause I believe. We can fly through the sky. We can do it. That's no lie. Side by side, we will run. We can be number one. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear. I believe in you.
Ah, yes, I believe in you. You believe in me, and I believe that we can make our dreams a reality. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Good morning, Baltimore. On this chilly, rainy day, here we are, yet alive, to say thank you to God for the blessings of life. Just being here might not be the way you want it, but at least you got a choice. Without choices, we are nowhere. But we're blessing God for this day and for you. Please say hello and welcome my producer and co-anchor. Please say hello, Jason Rodriguez.
Good morning, family. Just want to remind everyone we are now streaming live on all platforms, Facebook, Periscope, as well as YouTube. And we dedicate each and every one of our shows to our late great friend and distinguished and intelligent gentleman, James C. Morant.
Yes, we do. God bless his heart and bless his family. We know they miss him gravely, as we do. And please say hello to the eminent and the brilliant Dr. Marvin Cheatham.
Good morning. Good morning. What a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you with us, Doc. Pull that mic up closer to your mouth.
Okay.
There you go, so we can get it. And I suppose Richard is on the line. We got a new machine. How do I find him?
No, he's not on there yet.
Oh, he's not on there yet? No. Okay. No Richard Terry. All right, Richard, if you're listening, where you at? God bless each and every one of you. Let us just bow our heads if you're free and you're not driving, and if you can, lay your hands on the radio. Oh, God, we come before you, Lord, on this Monday, this new day of the week, oh, God. Coming to you, Lord, to say thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for everything, even the good, the bad, oh God, and the things that we don't understand. But we thank you for your peace, oh God, and we thank you for the hope that is alive, oh God, because we not only believe in you, oh God, but because we do what you told us to do and love our neighbors as we love ourselves, oh God. So many of us forget about that part. We don't hear it very much in church, oh God. But you said you know how much we love you by the way we love each other. Oh God, and we stand on that and we love you and we thank you for all that you do for us, oh God, that peace of mind that you give us in the midst of crises where we don't understand, oh God. Just thank you for that peace that comes in and just helps us to relax, oh God, and to know that it's all in your hands. Lord, we pray for our brother Richard Terry, oh God, for his health, oh God, that you will touch him, but touch his body right now, oh God. Give him the strength, oh God, that he needs, oh God, to restore him back to himself, oh God, to a state of total function, oh God. We love you and we thank you so much. Oh God, touch the city of Baltimore, oh God. It just seems like no matter where we turn, there's always something, oh God. Lord, we're asking, Lord, to wake us up. Oh God, people are dying daily. Oh God, for no good reason. We know there are no good reasons, oh God. I believe that it's just not natural. I believe that it's the lead poisoning, oh God. And we're praying for a way to help those people, oh God, that need help, oh God. And also, Lord, I believe it starts in the family, oh God. We got to love our children. We got to let them know that they're important, oh God, to us. And they're important to the world. Touch us, oh God. Give us a heart of love. Give us a heart of peace. Give us a heart of direction for each other and acceptance, oh God. But most of all, give us a heart of forgiveness, oh God. A heart of forgiveness, because as long as we're angry and we're holding things against people, we can't communicate, oh God. And we are made for love. We are love. And we thank you for this opportunity to come before you on the airwaves, oh God, to share with your people, oh God, to make us one as we ask is our prayer. In thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Well, saints, yeah, I call y'all saints because the saint ain't nothing but a sinner who fell down. We're all saints, you know, but you got to get back up and start back up again. So that's our word of the day, you know, that we love you and we bless God for you, all of you that are listening all around the country, sometimes or always around the world. Baltimore, here we are, in the presence of each other via the airwaves on this Monday morning. And I think the first thing we want to start out with is talking about the HBCUs. As many of you know, we have a new Speaker of the House.
Yes, Lord.
And she is, the first thing on her agenda is tackling this problem that just won't seem to go away due to.
Well, I'm very pleased to say, and read in the paper and went on Facebook and congratulated our Speaker of the House, Delegate Adrian Jones, for introducing legislation to address the governor in the state of Maryland still holding out and not complying with Judge Blake's ruling that the state of Maryland was in fact found guilty of discrimination and not properly funding the 4 HBCUs, Bowie, Coppin, Morgan, and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Adrian Jones, now in her position as Speaker of the House, has done something that the Legislative Want to Be Black Caucus has not done in 13 years. And that is, as a collective body, to introduce something to address during a General Assembly session the issue that funding is owed to the 4 HBCUs. So I commend her. The question will be, will the Democratic Party get behind her? Will the Legislative Black Caucus get behind her? Will many of the Republican members 13 years to bring proper funding to these 4 schools? So I commend her. I thank her. But it can't be done if our legislators don't get the backbone, the chutzpah, to do what needs to be done. And yes, I'm talking about you, Legislative Black Caucus. You need to get busy, because you haven't been busy at all.
I agree 100%. Why is this important, Doc?
It's so important because without the proper education, once we get to high school, we all must go further, whether it's going to be in some type of field where you use your hands and your brains, whether it's going to be further in your education. We need to make certain that we have proper funding in these 4 schools. It is quite apparent that these schools have not received the type of funding that is needed them. And all we want is the greatest education possible for our children, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their background, that they get the type of education that will enable them to go much further than they have.
Yes, sir.
So, Doctor, kind of bring us, for those who don't know, so this is a 13-year lawsuit, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it hasn't moved through the Black Caucus. That's the thing that bothers me. What can we do as the people to put some heat on these guys' derrieres on their butts to get them to move on this? Because elections are coming up.
With a name like Cheatham, I got to be as honest as I can. I don't see it being done by the Black Caucus. I don't think those that are there are large enough in number to do what needs to be done. I think we as citizens must demand of them to do what they can. We got folks running for city council, president of the city council, mayor, comptroller. We need to basically ask all of the elected officials to put this on their agenda. And if it's not on their agenda and it needs to be in writing, we just don't want you to verbally promise us, oh, yes, and when I get there, I'm going to get elected, I'm going to do something for the HBCUs. I want to see it in their platform, their written platform. What is it that they have on their agenda specifically related for the HBCUs? Because other than that, the reason we're in the plight that we're in, whether it's down in Annapolis or here in the city of Baltimore, is the poor selection of elected officials. The majority of them, I have to give them a failing grade. And I think if you look at what we have not acquired, what we have not achieved during their stint, whether some even as much as 20 years, that we're in the plight we're in because of the poor, implementation of the things that need to be done in our communities. Why does not every mayoral candidate have as a major issue 25% of the citizens in Baltimore living in a food desert? How can you say you're going to run to be the mayor when for the last 6 years we have 25% of the residents living in a food desert? How can you say you're a member of the city council and you have not had it on your agenda? How can you say you're a mayor or want to be mayor and this is not on your agenda?
Is there because of the process, because people that are in business can make contributions to these people's campaigns, so they buy them off? Why do you think there is not knowing this? Why do you think that nothing changes for such a long period of time?
Because unfortunately and I put myself in the boat as accepting some blame and responsibility, we not only not request of these candidates that are running what we need and what our communities need, but worse yet, we do not hold them accountable once they get elected. We let them make all the promises. We had one candidate actually 2 years ago put out 16 mailers. Which means he was highly funded by one of our unions. And I don't mind calling names. SEIU, yes, I'm talking about you. The type of funding that you've allowed certain candidates that you support. And then at the end of the day, we look at the 4 years and say, damn, you didn't really do that much for us. But we have to take some blame. Patrick, we have to accept some responsibility to do a little bit more as residents, as voters. It was despicable to see the poor turnout that we just had this past Tuesday. And I was on Larry Young morning show. They had the great program that's coming up this weekend about STEM. And I announced today, as I did 12 years ago, this year will be the year when we will have major technological problems with the voting apparatus. We had it last November in Pennsylvania. Believe it or not, as quiet as it's kept, we had voting problems Tuesday here in the state of Maryland.
Really?
Here Tuesday. You saw it nationally. And I still can't figure out why them folks, overwhelmingly white community, overwhelming that basically does not vote for the presidential candidate that's a winner. Why are we letting them go first and telling folks how to vote across America?
You're talking about Iowa.
Iowa. I don't believe it.
The least diverse state in the union. Everybody's saying that South Carolina is going to be the real template for what's going to happen, and they're saying that Biden has got a lead there, and he's going to probably revive himself because he's going to fail in New Hampshire. He's failing already in New Hampshire. He failed in Iowa.
He's announced he's failing.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows he should.
And you can't leave out Florida. Florida is a lot different demographically now. You have some very angry Puerto Ricans, my fellow Puerto Ricans down there in Florida, and they're still upset, over Hurricane Maria, and it's not going to be one of those states that is going to lean red this time. It's probably most likely going to.
Are there a lot of Puerto Ricans there? I know there are a lot of Cubans.
There's close to 1 million Puerto Ricans that have been displaced from Puerto Rico as in reference to Hurricane Maria.
Wow.
We got work to do, family.
Well, not only do we have work to do, but y'all, this is rudimentary. The idea that we're still having, this has been going on for years over in Park Heights. A few years back, they changed the voting place and didn't even tell the community that they had changed it. And people went to vote to their regular places they had been going, and they couldn't vote. And so this person that's over the voting department, why hasn't he been removed, and why is he allowed to stay there, and who has authority to put him in check?
Well, there's a board that actually appoints him. Of course, the governor makes the final decision. But we have to ask the question, why did we not receive public service announcements with regards to this election we just had last Tuesday? Why didn't we see voting is Tuesday? Why weren't we placarded with not just campaign signs, but informational signs?
Voter suppression.
Voter suppression, that's what I alleged this past Thursday in Annapolis as an expert that has testified on a federal, state, and city level. I am rated as an expert witness in the field of elections. I charge the city of Baltimore generally, but the election board of Baltimore City in specific, with voter suppression. How did we go now? This is the 10th year when the western part, the western district of the city of Baltimore,
the most populous,
it does not have, that's right, 83.16% of residents in that district, which is the Western District, are African Americans. Now, what do we mean by districts? So that folks know, because I've heard some folks calling on other shows questioning whether or not Park Heights is in the Western District. It is not. It is in the Northwestern District. Whether or not Emerson Avenue, Emerson Village is in the Western District. It is not. It is in the Southwestern District. Right. Why are we in districts? It is because if you look at how the election board functions, it functions to a great extent according to districts. The districts related to the police districts. When you figure out what districts are you voting in, what districts get police protection, what districts used to have to bring the voting bags and come back, pick up the voting bags, they were in accordance to police districts. The Western Districts, even today, 10 years after early voting was created in the city of Baltimore for us, the one district that is still now excluded is, in fact, the Western District. We're happy to say we had 2 great hearings thanks to the great leadership of Antonio Hayes, our senator. He did introduce Senate Bill 310. Nick Mosby and the 3 delegates on the 4th District on that side also did a House Bill 442. We had 2 excellent hearings this past Thursday. Things look very good for a possibility of an early vote center being in the Mondawmin area in general and possibly Douglas High School in specific.
Wow.
So that looks like it is happening.
Okay.
Counter to the lack of support coming from the city election board and their staff and their board.
And you say that appointment is made by the governor?
Well, the Board of Elections actually selects and votes on that individual. The governor kind of signs off on it. How do I know that? Because when I was the director, the president of the city election board, the Gene Rayner, who moved down to the state level, went from the city to the state, and we had to select someone to be the director of the city election board. I'm happy to say I was on the board when we actually selected Barbara Jackson to become the director of the city election board. Things need to be better. We've had problems with former felons voting in the city of Baltimore. We've had problems with polling places not opening in the city of Baltimore.
Running out of ballots.
You name it, we've had the problems, but the people in charge are still in charge. And this is one of those instances where the board itself, the board that basically moves and grooves the city election board, they need to get more actively involved as to what's not happening. For the first time in 50 years, Baltimore City is below Anne Arundel County in voter registration.
And what's the population of Anne Arundel County?
It shouldn't be where it shouldn't be
nowhere
letting
near.
us fall back down. Which means, folks who are basically dealing with elections and voter education, mobilization, are not doing the work that needs to be done. But I also put some responsibility on the majority party in the city of Baltimore. Yes, I'm talking about you Democrats. How did you allow registration to go down? How did you not allow former felons to register to vote
when they can?
It's amazing what we've allowed to happen. But I take some blame myself. All of us are to blame, but we live here in Baltimore, and we're seeing and hearing these means of suppression, because that's what it is. It's suppression. When you have a means to give people the right to vote, and you're doing something that doesn't bring them to the table.
Doc, let me ask you a question, since you are the voter expert here.
Hold on, Bubby. Hold on for a minute.
What would you...
410-481-1010, 410-481-1010. Bubby, I see you there. Call back.
What would you say the issue was with Tuesday's election? I put it on voter apathy.
Apathy is there and has been there when people are suffering. Voting is not one of the major issues, but I put it on something more important than that. If you don't tell the people that you have a major election, if you don't explain to them what the election is all about, even those of us that are well educated in the electoral process had some challenge, some difficulty with understanding what was going on. Why are you telling me there are going to be 3 elections for one position, the 7th congressional district? And if you don't explain that to people, they're not going to vote, and they don't even know who they're voting for or what they're voting for. Yes, apathy is there, but I think more than that, the fact that you suppress voters by not educating them properly. The problem isn't that you have a food desert, that there's no food. The problem is access to the food. The problem isn't voting. The problem is having access to voting. You don't have access to a voting when you have 13 bus stops at one location, 2 colleges, 4 high schools. You have a shopping center all in one area, and there's no early voting in that location. That didn't happen accidentally.
That was programmed.
Someone made the decision as to what the 7 locations would be for early voting. It's called the election board, and they decided not to have one in West Baltimore, which happens to be 83% black.
Yes. Would the mayor have any effect on changing that? The new mayor?
He or she has the right through their representation that goes to Annapolis to encourage funding in that area. And we're happy to say we got a message Thursday while we were in Annapolis that the mayor has already indicated that if the General Assembly approves the early voting site for the Mondawmin area, that they will fund it. So that was very pleasing to the senators. They said, well, the question is, it has to be voted on. It has to be voted on by the senators and the delegates, because the city election board and the state election board didn't think it was important enough to put an early voting site in West Baltimore. So Antonio Hayes was intelligent enough to introduce a bill. So now there's a bill, Senate Bill 310, House Bill 442, that brings a early voting site to the Mondawmin area. The city already has on the books, you can have 8. We only have 7 right now. So the problem is in the legislative part. The problem is getting the elected officials get behind it.
Wow.
Voting is important.
Let me see. I pushed this button. We got a new machine up in here, y'all. Hey, Bubby, how you doing? Bubby, turn your radio down. Turn your radio down.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, stop listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Morning. Great conversation. I would just like to make my nomination for the Academy Award winner. That's Brandon Scott. Did you see what's going on now?
Yeah. About that guy hitting him in the face?
Yeah, that's my buddy.
Patrick, I think this is a campaign that is desperate, in that Brandon Scott campaign. First of all, it looked like he assaulted the guy first. Now, I'm not condoning the guy punching him, but I know a lot of people in Park Heights, and they will not let somebody punch him in the face. And if you won't fight for yourself, you know you're not getting my vote, because you know you won't fight for the people.
Wow.
Now, that's my brother. That's my brother Michael Moore and Michael Bay Moore. I don't know. I think it was a bunch of nonsense that went on.
And you think Brandon is milking it?
I don't think he's milking. So I keep trying to tell folks this on Facebook. Brandon is a softie. Brandon is not. I mean, he may have grew up, in the housing projects, but Brandon is not that type of person. He's about as soft as some Haagen-Dazs ice cream on a warm day.
Hey, Jason, do him and your buddy have a history?
So they do have a history. So there was supposed to have been a lawsuit that he had filed against him and both, I believe, Jack Young.
Wow. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, Bubby. Hold on. Bubby, hold on. We got to give a station ID. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Don't touch that dial.
Stands proud, no fear. It's clear, I believe in you.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Ah, yes, we can make our dreams a reality. Go ahead, Bubby.
Yes, sir. You know what? In my history is dealing with Baltimore politicians. There always been a city councilman that want to be important. What I mean by that, they always want police protection and to drive around in a black SUV. So I'm thinking maybe there's some kind of desperate campaign ploy for him to try to get police protection. But let me get off here by saying this. Do you know Gilmore Homes and public housing is slated to have 100 units tore down?
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Right. They already have the fence around it.
Wow.
They already been stripping components out of the unit.
Evicting? Did they evict the people already? Of course, right?
Yeah, of course they got them out. There's punishment for the neighborhood standing up to the police with the Freddie Gray stuff. So my point is, I have watched them. There is no containment. Those units contain lead paint, mold, and asbestos. It has been nobody from the health department, nobody from the inspectors to make sure proper containment is done. I called the health department. No one has responded. Why is they not making the city do proper demolition for protecting the citizens?
Well,
you still have pregnant women, you still have children under 6, you still have elderly people there in that community.
Well,
Why is the mayor... Go ahead.
But I'm telling you, man, when I call the EPA on them. They don't play with that. Have you called the EPA about it?
No, but I will be calling them after I get off the phone.
Yes, sir. That's who you call.
You got to remember who the EPA's current administration is under. So...
Well,
and the dismantling of the
Go ahead.
And I've read some articles just recently, and I shared them with you, Patrick, in reference to the actions being taken by the Housing Authority (HUD) in general under the new director, and how they've been closing up housing units across the country, and many of these units have had lead issues, and they instead of addressing them, they're looking at dismantling them.
Well, I don't care. You go ahead and file a complaint because people will come back. They be able to come back later and sue if they do nothing about it. So please call the EPA. Yeah.
But Jason and Patrick, let's keep in mind under this current executive director, it's not executive director no more. It's the president and CEO of the Housing Authority of Baltimore.
Yes.
She has closed over 10,000 units. As we speaking, and Jack Young is not doing anything but smiling and sipping wine.
And they're getting ready to close. And they're getting ready to close Gilmore Homes.
Yeah, I heard that last time on the news. Tell me this, Bubby. You and I were down at Baltimore, Annapolis night, and you said you saw that lady. What's her name?
Janet Abrams. She's taller than Santa Lee. She was in the corner with Santa Lee.
And you said when she saw you, she cursed you. She
she made a reference. I've been called that before. She made a reference to me. But let's keep in mind, this is the type of hierarchy that you have in this city, where these people think they're above reproach. But I believe the truth stands by itself.
Well, it does stand by itself. But the thing that gets me is how can they be so callous, so careless about what they're doing? Is it because we're black people and we don't hold each other in regard? But Doc, help a brother out.
Well, because we have a leader like Jack Young, who does not use the power of his office. That's why I'm against taking power from the mayor when you don't even have a mayor who used the damn power that they have. Now, he is the CEO of this city, and I'm on record, hundreds of people like me on record are making complaints against this housing authority, and nothing is done. And by the way, we had a conversation in Annapolis. So my point is, I'm not into conversation and telling me what a great job I'm doing in private. I'm about results.
Yes, go ahead, Doc.
She should be fired. She should be fired
a long time ago. Yes.
Yes, indeed. But no one wants to do that. They let Rudy Child walk out with a big fat pension. They let this police commissioner act like he a damn preacher and not the police commissioner. Won't he go to Penn North and clean that damn mess
I
up?
heard that this morning on Larry.
Did you know some people was murdered there Saturday?
No.
When I was walking home, they had everything all taped off.
Man, listen, I live in Dofield. Y'all know that, and I've been calling the police 2-3 weeks ago. Somebody was shot right there on the sidewalk there.
But
yeah.
But this is the contention. What I'm keep trying to put in the citizens'
We
head.
hear you, Bubby.
When you have department heads making over $100,000 more than the mayor, who do the mayor answer to?
Yeah, but then you got police. You got police making more than the mayor. Doc, I know you wanted to say something. Hold up, Bubby.
Got 3 quick suggestions. One, I want to encourage, better yet, challenge some of our faith-based leaders. This is an opportunity where we can show leadership will take over violence between us doing injustice to each other. I'm asking one of our faith leaders to bring Mr. Moore and Brandon Scott together. Bring them together. And basically, I want to see put an end to whatever squabbles they have. I think we have enough ministers. I know that there are at least 500 here in the city of Baltimore. Bring those two brothers together. Let us show publicly that we need not fight and go against each other, that we're not perfect, but bring them together. With reference to what's happening at Gilmore Homes, that's my next door neighbor community. Here's an excellent opportunity. All of you folks running for city council, running for president, running for mayor, why not, with those houses you're going to tear down and hopefully get the lead out of them, why not, since these folks have not had a food market, we're talking about Gilmore, put a part of the food market in that location, location right there. And the solution to Penn North, city council and mayor, you have to take out those 3 drug rehab centers all at Penn North. There's no solution to it other than you can't have all of those drug rehab centers all in one area. That's a solution.
But you know, what about all those cops that be sitting in their cars watching what's going on and they don't do anything? I drive by there every day and they be sitting there and they be looking at their computers or whatever they're doing and they know what's going on. All they got to do is tell them people to move on. No?
I still say that they're having a labor dispute.
They're having a what?
A labor dispute.
Jason, you're right. They take their orders from the FOP.
Correct.
And the FOP then instructed them, if they don't see the smoke coming out the gun, for them to stand down. But let me go back to Doc's point. In the city where we had knocked down over 40,000 units in the last 3 years, and if you look at the housing list, this lady being Jan Abrams had purged the roll from over 71,000.
Oh, we lost him. All right.
We're going the other thing about housing is we have a need for public housing, and we have a need for affordable, safe housing.
Yes.
And the problem is when you see these type of moves that are being taking place, we don't want to fight in those communities. And a lot of reasons why we don't want to fight is because we've lived in such harsh conditions and deplorable conditions that when they offer us a ticket out, we're willing to take that ticket any second. You had, when they closed up the first
like
building.
Like they did on the east side, John Hopkins.
When they first closed up the first
I'm coming
building.
to you, Hampton.
When they first closed up the first building over there at Gilmore Homes, you had folks that took vouchers to go down south to South Carolina and down south states.
Well, they escaped.
Just to get out.
They escape.
As opposed to giving them an offer to save affordable housing that was right here in the neighborhoods.
Well, you know why that
in.
is. They're creating, getting ready for gentrification. Hampton, thank you, sir. How are you?
Oh, man, you sure took a long time to get to me. 15 minutes, man. Were you punishing me?
No, I'm not. I'm thankful that you called, but unfortunately.
Let me give you these two stories. I went down to the election board and asked for them to give me the permission for me to work the polls, counting the votes and all. Told me last Thursday, you come back the day after President Day and come see us, and you got to get one of them who's running to sign you off to certify that you can go.
That's your senator.
I never heard nothing like that before in my life.
That's the process. The people
wait
that
a minute. I have no problem with that. When I go to the poll to vote, early election, when they send you a letter, your name is on that letter. Is that right?
Right.
Well, I go up there and say I want to vote and give them the letter. They can't find me.
What?
I said, however it's spelled on there, this what they sent me from there, let me vote. I didn't get to vote.
Let me make
I don't care. My name was on there, ABC, red, white, and blue.
Let me help you if I can.
Did we have same-day voter registration if he wanted to?
Not for that election. Not for that election. Let me help you a little bit. One, your name gets to become a judge, whether you're Democrat or Republican, for the most part, as a result of your state senator recommending your name. That's the first and quickest process. So, one, whoever your senator is, let him or her.
They didn't say that.
I'm not saying what. I'm telling you what the process is.
Listen up, Hampton.
Hampton, please listen. I'm trying to tell you how to go about this. We need you as an election judge.
Wait a minute. Have a good day.
See, that's a part of our problem, family. You want to complain. I can't use that B word. I'm sorry, I almost said it. We can't complain and not want to listen to find out how you can remedy whatever your problem is. Hampton, all I was trying to do is suggest to you how to deal with it so you won't have that problem again. With reference to voting, voters, what you need to do when you go to vote. I've been voting since 71, the first day of the first year of the first month that I could register to vote. I bring my voter's card every time I go vote.
It'll drop.
If there is a problem on election day and you find that your name's not on the list, go back home. If you didn't have your voter's card, you should have brought with you at least 2 pieces of identification so you can actually, if you can't vote according to regular procedure, you can ask for a ballot on the basis that you're challenging the process. Folks, we need to understand the election process. Don't get frustrated and quit. We need you to call us up and say, what is it I need to do? I went to the polls. I couldn't vote. There are solutions to it, but don't give up, Hampton.
No.
Don't give up.
No,
there are remedies. We just have to find out what is the solution to your problem and then hopefully expedite it.
Yes, I hope you're not upset, Hampton. He just told you how to do it. Don't give up, Hampton.
And here's my number for anyone that needs help with the voting process. 410-669-VOTE. 410-669-8683. I will help you in any way that I can. If you're having problems getting to be a judge, voting on election day, wanting to use an absentee ballot, there are folks that will help you. And I'm one of those that at least want to give you some help. Don't get so frustrated to quit.
Yes, I agree
Don't
with
quit.
you. 410-481-1010. Please call in. We want to hear what you have to say. Next, we're going to go to Paul. Paul, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, 2 things. First thing is, didn't you guys seen the tape with Brandon Scott, the young man, the altercation that they had?
Yeah, I watched the video
the other day.
I've watched the video.
Now, I looked at the video too, and I saw Brandon Scott come behind this guy, and the little space that he had, and kind of push the guy. I seen the guy turn around, which, come on, they grown men.
Right.
To be adult about certain things, but I also seen a push And then I seen the guy push him again. And now I hear that he's filing charges against the man and all this stuff.
And an order of protection.
And an order of protection, which he could have avoided just by going around the man, which I saw.
Right.
It's just another.
What I also saw though too was my brother Moore take a step back and kind of close the gap up as well. So that was definitely apparent that he had took a slight step back.
Yeah, but it looked like his back was turned though. Even if
it looked like they were both instigating it. If you look at it though.
But that's typical. I'm going to tell you something that happened when we were kids growing up, and it does not take place today. When there were disagreements, beefs, whatever you want to call it, between two young brothers, what would happen? The seniors in the community would bring both of them together. If they definitely wanted to fight, they would go ahead and let us fight, and then they say, "Okay, y'all finish fighting, shake hands, and you become friends again." I have one of my best friends today. He and I went through that process. I'm saying we need to not only understand that the incident should not have happened, but let's find a remedy. There are a group of people called faith-based leaders. This is where they can pick up the ball and bring those two guys in and say, listen, we can't have y'all doing this. We got young people. We got older people seeing you going at each other for some reason that does not make sense. And all I'm saying to folks is let's find solutions to problems between Brandon and Brother Moore. Let's bring both of them together behind closed doors and say, you brothers got to stop this. Now
here's the other thing, man. I'm all messed up for words because I was somewhere this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy was just joking around playing. What a guy, he lifted his shirt up. He had a pistol.
Had a gun.
Another guy joking around, lifted his shirt up. He had a pistol. Another guy come into the place joking around. He's got a pistol.
And you still didn't watch?
No. Here's the thing. I don't want to go into details why I was sitting there watching because I was having something done to me at the time. Okay, my point is though, for out of every 10 black males in the city of Baltimore, I say at least 7 of them are strapped. Okay, now here's what I found out: guys who I know wouldn't carry a gun because they know the consequence behind it. But their thing is, look, if somebody roll up on me, I'm going to be ready. That's the mentality of what we have in the city of Baltimore now.
Right.
Even for people, because the police are not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, here's my question. You're not afraid that you might get pulled over, you might get searched, and they find a gun on you? Nah, I ain't got to worry about that. Police ain't stopping and frisking. I carry 2 guns, and ain't got to worry about it. This is what's going on now. Just walking around with guns now because the police are not doing their job, and I'm tired of hearing people saying we need more police officers, we need this, we need that. No, we need the ones that we got
that we
to start
paying
doing their job like they supposed to, and maybe stuff will start changing.
I don't agree with that. I think what we need to do is start outreaching in our community and getting these young men off these corners with these guns in this first place.
So let me ask you something. So you want a whole bunch of old seniors to go out here and confront these young
Not
boys
just
that
seniors,
don't
young men, seniors, kind of like what the brothers are doing now with the Men's March. They're transforming lives. They're taking people, putting them immediately into drug addiction treatment. They're grabbing young men up. I think so far, like close to 50 young men have been put into programs and are put into job training. I think what we have to do is we have to occupy these communities. We already know where these hot zones are. All this statistical data is already out there, from the police to the health department. We know where all these hot spots and hot zones are. It's time for us to engage these young men because what happens is when the police do it, it's going to become a battle zone. When the police do it, it's going to become mass incarceration.
But I'm taught all this.
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the other thing is these people that we go out and we vote for, they have to do that. Look, we keep complaining about the people got to come out and vote. Black people are out here voting. We put people in office that we believe that's going to be able to help us out with our situation, but we have been ignored for
after
years.
they get in office.
The very people,
Yes.
I think the problem is we have to stop waiting on Superman or Superwoman, which we believe is going to come from the governance and come from the police.
But it just
we
don't
need to
seem
step
like,
in
but Jason,
and be the own heroes of our communities.
But it seems like we have no help. And this gentleman is absolutely right. We try to vote.
We don't
him
need
in.
their help.
And we paying taxes. See, you can say that, but guess what? I'm a taxpayer in the city of Baltimore. So the resource, the money that's out there that you send over to the other communities, why ain't you sending it to ours?
Right, but brother, a lot of this...
You're just taking money from black people and you putting it in other zones, and you're not taking care of the ones that really have the primary need.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's legendary. That's the way they've been doing it here for decades.
But brother, a lot of this doesn't take money and resources. There are opportunities out there right now, and the brothers are debunking that myth. They are job training. There are people that are working, in organizations that are teaching soft skills programs. There are GED programs out there. The thing is that we have to stop relying on government. Like Boom says all the time, we all we got, we all we need. We can resolve this issue, but it's going to take real men to come out into these communities and pull these boys out of the community and transform them and give them an opportunity to become men in our communities.
That guy, but he said one thing that I think registered with me really well. He said to old men talking to these young boys, how do they talk to them? Do they look down on them and start telling them, you ain't no man? No, I don't know what the psychology is.
We're doing it. So I've had the opportunity to be with the Men's March, to be with the brothers. Mm-hmm. We're doing it with love. Okay. We're doing it with prayer. Mm-hmm. We're doing it with offering them an opportunity, letting them know that we are our brother's keeper and we are there for you. We've had young men testify in front of us. Mm-hmm. Man, I ain't never had nobody come to me and show me that type of compassion and show me that type of love.
Are y'all getting them off the street? Some of them are homeless, Jason.
A lot of them are coming off of the streets. A lot of them are making the choice to report to whether it's a church in the area. Like, for instance, when we did the walk in
name a church for us.
So we did Speak to My Heart Ministries right there on off of is it Garrison? I believe it's Garrison, off of Garrison. We would tell the brothers to come there and report there if you want an opportunity. We would share our information. There's brother McKinstry is
Marvin
there.
McKinstry.
Marvin McKinstry. There's a whole bunch of brothers that are
church?
out there. No, that's not his church.
Okay, it's unimportant. I just want to know: do y'all ever put them in the car and take them there?
I got one suggestion.
So here's the deal. They are in the area. So what they offer is a lot of times we are walking at nighttime. We're letting them know that if you report first thing in the morning, or if you give us a call first thing in the morning, an opportunity will be waiting for you. And again, they've been able to put easily over 50 folks. Go ahead.
I agree with what you're doing, and I take my hat off to you guys. You're really out here doing a lot to make a difference. But the only thing is, look, we pay into this city.
I'm telling you, listen, yes, man.
We pay into this.
Our money don't mean that. Our money is not green.
You see, but the thing is, it's like, even though you have what you guys are doing, the city should have those. We used to have programs, all kinds of things. I tell you what, I remember growing up.
Okay, listen, Paul. I've given you a lot of time. Thank you, my brother. We got some other call. We appreciate that.
Here's my one suggestion to these men that are walking, and I commend them for what they're doing.
Go ahead.
But I strongly want to suggest, let's take West Baltimore. 86 open-air drug markets. You guys that are doing walking, won't you go to those 86 open-air drug markets? This marching up and down, it's like everybody thought the riots was really Penn North, when in fact it wasn't really in Penn North. That was the gathering site. I'm tired of seeing these damn men walking and making a whole lot of noise. Go to where the problem really is.
They have been. They've been at Penn North.
Come on, I didn't interrupt you.
They've been at Penn North.
I did not interrupt you,
They've been at Penn North, though.
I did not interrupt you.
Right.
Penn North isn't where the drug area is. That's where drug rehab is.
Okay.
All right? The drug area is take Pennsylvania and Lawrence Street. Take Presbury Street. I know what I'm talking about. I live in the neighborhood, and I'm saying go to the open air drug markets. Go to the open air drug markets. Not to where y'all think the riot took place. Go to where the riot is still happening.
And hang up in there and do it. I also think they need to, when they encounter these guys, some of them ain't got nowhere to sleep. So if they had a safe overnight place where they can take them and make sure they get to the place the next day, it's the story of the Good Samaritan. That's what he did. He took that woman or whatever to the place and paid for it.
I'm telling you that all those resources are there. They're even taking folks.
They
have a vehicle where they're actually taking folks that want drug addiction treatment immediately, and they are driving them personally to a center.
All right, good.
In real time.
All right, I didn't know that's what I was trying to find out. Monica, you're on the air. How are you? You have a question or comment? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People.
Hey, Mr. Henderson, how you doing?
Oh, sweetheart, I'm in prayer right now.
Hey, amen. Thank you for taking my call. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
I'm good. God bless you.
Good. I wanted to make just several comments. One, I heard somebody mention that black folks are voting. I wanted to say, no, they're not. Black folks are not voting in the numbers that they should. We're not seeing the success that we can at the polls. I don't know why it's not translating to people the urgency and the need to actually get out and vote, but they're not. The second thing I wanted to say is that, somebody had made a comment about, guys feeling bolder to carry firearms because the police not going to stop them. They carrying 2 and 3 guns and whatnot. That's not true. They carry guns because there's a saying on the street, I'd rather get judged by 12 than to be carried by 6. So, unfortunately, they don't want no pallbearers. So, unfortunately, the guys feel, like it's a need to have a firearm because everybody else have them. It's not that they're not afraid of getting pulled over by the cops, but the mentality is that, just like I said, I'd rather get judged by 12 jurors than to get carried by 6 pallbearers. The other thing I wanted to say is when it comes to election judges, there is a process, and I know Doc is pretty well versed with when it comes to voting and everything, but I don't want it to be underestimated. The process and how simple the process is to become election judge. I think the guy name is Armstead
B.C. Crawley Jones.
Yeah, that guy, he runs the joint down there. And one thing, every year, they always extremely short when it comes to having judges at these sites. I'm a returning citizen, stayed down for more than a decade. Came home, and one of the first things I wanted to do was be civically engaged.
Yes.
I'm working, most of the time and everything, but I couldn't wait to become an election judge and to actually get out there and vote because there's been so much legislation to make sure that people who are returning back to the communities after incarceration are able to vote now. They even got some election expanding the ballot that's coming up February the 12th to expand it to make sure that people who are behind the walls can get absentee ballots and to make sure that people who are behind the walls can also become registered. So that's a really important piece of legislation.
Yes, it is.
The last thing I wanted to mention, I just wanted to thank my buddy Bubby. Me and him, we grew up together in West Baltimore, Sandtown and all. I just wanted to thank you for constantly putting information out there when it comes to the people who are leading our city, because unfortunately, these folks have got the political playbook. They look at this playbook, and every time it's time to vote, they make sure they get plenty of signs. They make sure they got like a checklist: signs, money, and they pad their resume with working in places that appear to be community work. That was a job, and you paid your bills. So rather than us continue to choose these people who appear to be really good because I worked here, I got a law degree from here, I got this, but have you been in them alleys cleaning up? When somebody needed energy assistance, could you get on that phone and send them somewhere to get some energy assistance? When that lady came to you, was you able to pick her up and take her over to North Avenue so that she can get some help for her son that's in school? We got to really continue to look at the people who are really about our communities and stop having folks come in front of us with padded resumes and all this money and all these signs and fooling us into voting for them when all along, as soon as they get in there, their interests are going to be Harbor East. their interest is going to be hammed and their interest is going to be somewhere else because they are only concerned with getting elected.
That's
and
all.
If you want to get elected, when you don't have the power of the people in certain communities, you are actually forced to have to raise money over here. And when you get money from the people, you're going to listen to what they
You're going to owe them. Thank you, Monica. That was
All right,
very,
brother.
very good. We appreciate it.
Appreciate
Holly,
All right.
call back. Thank you. Let me see how I drop her. And then, Ankh, you've been holding. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Hey, how y'all doing, man?
We're hanging in there. How are you?
Good, man. Thank y'all for everything that y'all do. And and I understand the frustration. I'm frustrated with the methadone look too, because as somebody that that's been clean and sober going on 30 years, God, prayer, and spiritual footwork, I know it's not, and doc, it's not drug treatment. The methadone clinics are not drug treatment. When you go into treatment, 3 to 7 days, you clean and sober from whatever you was high off of. And all you have to do is come out. You can go into the fellowships, you can go to church, and you can stay clean and sober one day at a time for the rest of your life. So what it is they're making a lot of money. They're keeping these people 20, 30 years when they should have a pathway to clean and sober. Clean and sober people don't hang around all day and stuff like that and fuel the drug trade and take over the bus stops and take over the city buildings or whatever they out in front of and stuff like that. I've been calling for the council people to go to these facilities, talk to somebody that has that's been addicted and stuff. If you want to know, to talk to them about
what their mental state is. Okay. What their mental state is. These people that are really trying to get off. So what you're saying is, them people out there just congregating. They are not. Those are people out there buying drugs. Is that what you're saying? Those are not people that are trying to be free.
Well, they on the program, Patrick. What the methadone clinics are set up to do. They're just set up to make money. They keep these people on there 10, 20 years or whatever. And all if they have a program like when they have them in there, wean them off the heroin. They about 6 months, take them in have them go through a treatment program or whatever, a real treatment program. They can have that part of that.
Oh, okay. I've got. Listen,
Mark, can we hold Mark over, because Mark walks with the march as well, and I want him to address what it is that's going on in the community with the marches.
Oh, that's Mark. Hey, Mark, I thought that sounded like your voice. Hold on, we're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Don't touch that dial.
Talk in the day. Soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Foreclosure. If foreclosure is a word you're hearing and worrying about, you need to get a fresh start now. Call Jeff Cerroti to stop foreclosure at 410-999-8000. Stop the harassing phone calls. Sleep easier. Set up a free in-office consultation with Jeff Cerroti himself to get your fresh start. Cerroti & Associates are the bankruptcy specialists. They've been helping Marylanders stop foreclosures and get out from under their mounting bills for over 25 years. Foreclosure stopped, or set up a free in-office consultation. You'll sit down with Jeff Cerroti to discuss your situation. No obligation, but if you do proceed, mention WOLB for a special discount. Call today, 410-999-8000, or freshstartlaw.com to get your financial fresh start and stop foreclosure with the bankruptcy specialist, Cerrone and Associates. They're convenient to the Beltway with free parking. Stop foreclosure. Stop garnishment. Call Cerrone and Associates today at 410-999-8000. We're Debt Relief Agency helping people file bankruptcy under the Bankruptcy Code.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
To you as you believe.
We're back. I tell you, it's hot up in the room up in here today. Mark, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Dr. Andre Bunley, the Office of African American Male Engagement, who Ms. Pugh put in place, and I guess they started with about 20 men, Patrick. And I'm trying to say this for time purpose. I'm trying to say it as quick as I can.
Thank you.
And what happened is, they came up with the idea, that they're going to leave from different locations, different churches, locations. Mondays, it started on Mondays. Now it's every other Thursday in South Baltimore. Mondays in West Baltimore.
But people are being killed every day. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Saturdays in East Baltimore.
Right.
And what they do is the men, they meet and they go out. It's organized. The Muslim brothers, Brother Bull, everybody. But I have fire, what right here in my hand. And what we do is we meet these young people where they're at. And Pennsylvania Avenue, Pressman, all over that area. If we hear about somebody got shot or something like that.
You go to that area? See, that's what Doc is saying. He's saying, instead of just walking down the street, why don't you go and surround those areas that have just been recently hit to show some sort of triage.
Not just marching, not just walking. I mean, we changing lives. And let me just share this. The Office of African Male Engagement, they partner with people. That's what success is about. Expungement, employment, food, clothing, shelter, substance abuse, awareness, job readiness, fatherhood and family support, diversity, consent and cultural sensitivity, individual group monthly sessions for youth, 14 to 24, and that type of thing. This is the flyer that we actually have.
What is a contact number for some parent is listening and their kid is in trouble? Well, come quickly, because we got a call. So give me a number where people can call.
Maurice Blanding, 443 827-3496, 443-827-3496. And Pat, I don't want any politicians to save me or any police officer to save me. Just do your job. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. All right, Warren Unknown. Hi, Warren. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, 410-481-1010. We got about 20 more minutes. Y'all needs to get it in. Come on with it, sir. You have a question or comment? Warren?
No, this is Lauren. Lauren, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but there's some. This is Lauren. Okay.
I teach them. I gotta get out and get my kids. But you know what? Real quick. I'll step outside real quick.
Okay.
Listen, you understand something? I give out sandwiches to homeless people and drug addicts and drug dealers and whoever needs something to eat at Better North, down and up to maybe on Sunday mornings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stand in, so whoever said that it's not done at 10 and North, the drugs, yeah, it is. It's done on top of a police car, under the police car.
Yes.
The police sit there, so no, it's right there. The word is, who's the Ravens, I'm not a football fan, but the Ravens player.
Lamar Jackson.
The player, that's the name of the drug on the street.
Lamar Jackson.
So, right, so what I do is I stand in the middle of them and give out food. And what they do is I talk to them. I say, you don't belong here. You're somebody's son. And you know what? They listen to me. I just talk to them. So whoever said they don't sell, but down in Lawrence Street, yeah, they do. But it's heavy around Penn North Station. I mean, I'm right there listening to it. I could be a police officer. They don't even know.
I know. That's what surprises me. They could just do that and just have what they call it
that's not the solution, though. Undercover stings and stuff like that.
I'm not talking about a sting. I'm talking about finding out who the people are.
Right.
It'd be sitting in the car wasting money, paying them overtime, and they sitting there doing nothing, Jason. Come on.
I'd like them to go away and us to engage these folks.
You understand something? Or because I got a little secret, but I won't share on the radio.
My brother just said he wants them to go away. All right, Jason, I'm not sure you want that to happen.
It ain't going away.
Right.
It ain't going away.
No.
Okay?
We're talking about the police standing on the corners. I mean,
Police,
sitting in the corners.
Well, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Okay, let's go there. Okay?
It is nothing.
The lesser of a few evils. Look, I want the police. I want the police. All right. So therefore, the thing about this is this. Okay, the police don't want to get involved because they feel like you get involved and trouble comes their way, lose your job. So there's too much going on with police.
Catch-22.
Getting a bad rap, man.
Yeah.
Getting a bad rap.
All right.
We gotta understand something. It's like that. And get my kids. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks,
I'll talk
Warren.
to you later.
Thank you, sir. Lauren, welcome to Patrick Henderson Meet the People. How are you? You have a question or comment?
Comment, and I do thank you all so much for this wonderful information.
Thank
I wanted to give something else for Bubby and those others listening about the home problem. There is an Office of Inspector General who will conduct independent inspections, and they have a hotline. Her name is Isabel Mercedes Cummings. The hotline is 800-417-0430, and the contact number is 443-984-3690.
Give those numbers again, sweetheart.
Hotline for Office of Inspector General, 800-417-0430, and the office number is 443-984-3690.
All right. For those of you that didn't get the number, you can go on my Facebook page and scroll down, and you can find those numbers. But this is important. Jock, do you know those numbers? I didn't see you writing them down.
Not only do I know them, I've been there.
And what happens, Doc? What happens?
We had her look into, in her office, had them look into two issues. One was how the Board of Estimates gave the police academy to University of Baltimore as opposed to Coppin. So we went there and actually asked them to investigate how the Board of Estimates did that, not having any data from Coppin at all. So very familiar. Actually have a case. They haven't told me, they haven't dropped it, so I'm assuming I still have a case there with them. So very, very familiar. It is a great office to have oversight on what's being done by both our city council and the Board of Estimates.
But we just don't know how efficacious they are, efficient they are.
Well, they have reached out to some elected officials and pointed out some of their wrongdoings or their missteps. So I think it's an agency that has great potential. I think what the sister is doing is sharing that information with others, that this is a resource that we can go to.
And lodge a complaint.
What happened to the original promise that the city had made to put it in Coppin?
City actually never made a promise to do that. What they did was they created the Bishop Robinson Institute, and these folks work, including former Commissioner Ham, who's there. They worked for at least 10 to 12 years creating a format and a program to bring the police academy there.
To Coppin.
And then Pew evidently made some agreement with Kurt Smoke. And that's how they went to the Board of Estimates, and the Board of Estimates not even questioning or bringing Coppin in to hear what Coppin's story was, why they wanted at Coppin. They went ahead with the recommendation coming from Catherine Pugh and the Board of Estimates, the mayor, president of the city council, comptroller, and the two appointees
who sold
the
us
mayor,
out.
basically without having real data, gave it to University of Baltimore.
All right, Lauren, did you have anything else to say, sweetheart?
No, thank you all so much. Keep up the excellent work.
Thank you, and thank you for that information. It's definitely needed. Let me see here. It has the next line. Jason, how do I know the next person?
Just hit next. Hit next.
Next, okay. Next. Hello, is this Ankh again? Mark?
This is Ankh. How you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Yeah, is Doc still there?
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Doc, you remember me about a few years back, I gave you a piece of artwork that was showing the Greyhound bus station of this chimpanzee with his hands up and cornrows.
Yes, sir. I got those down. I actually met with the executive director. I want to say it's 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite. I was with the NAACP at the time, so it may have been a little bit more than 10. Yeah, there were some paintings on the side of the Greyhound building downtown.
What?
And they were monkeys, and they had cornrows.
Wow.
So I went to the executive director of that particular building. It was a part of the museum.
Historic. I think it was Maryland Historic.
That's it exactly. I met with the executive director, and within 2 weeks, all of those were taken down.
What was their reaction when you went in there, guys?
Well, they were surprised like I was, because until you told me, I didn't know that they were there. And when I went there, I dropped everything that I could do. I told my board, I said, listen, I'm going to the museum. We're going to tell them if they don't take these paintings down, we're going to start picking in the museum. We were doing something with Black History Month at the museum at that point, and I just felt, how could we allow these paintings to be up there? But they were clearly monkeys, and they actually had cornrows. And we found that objectionable.
Thank you, Unc, for remembering that. We appreciate your.
That goes back a few years.
Yeah, it does. But thank you for doing it, and it shows you the power of when Doc was in there. Foolish like that was not allowed. Hi, Sherry. How are you, sweetheart?
Hello, Patrick. I just want to ask you a question, if I may.
Oh, you may, of course.
Can I ask something about on a national level?
Yes, come quickly.
Okay, once before you said you didn't think Pete Buttigieg had a chance, and I say people are evolving. Do you still feel that way? One more question. When do you think the Democrats will start concentrating on those Senate seats as opposed to putting all their eggs in one basket?
I know
they are losing.
Yes.
And I've been saying this for day one.
First thing they need to do is get rid of Perez, the one that's over the chairman of the thing. That's the first thing. You heard, what's his name?
I couldn't agree. Carvel, James Carvel
Yes.
said the same thing.
No, that's the first thing they need to do. And as far as Buttigieg is concerned, he's going to have to get down there in South Carolina. So we're going to really get a mix of diversity of people. But as someone said the other day on Facebook, they talked about the people that voted for Kwesi Mfume, and they said most of them were seniors and most of them were women.
Yeah, women over 55.
Women over 55.
Joe Biden is not going to get the black vote like he think he is. But now I want to see how black people constantly saying they want this man out the White House. Now, if it comes down to Buttigieg and Sanders, or if Buttigieg gets the nomination, will black people still feel that way?
There'll be a lot of them that won't vote because of it, because he's gay. A lot of black people at the church just done ruined folks about hating on people that are being hated on. I'll never understand that. All right, sweetheart. I don't understand it, but we're going to get right back to our subject. Brother Haki.
Hit next.
Okay. We got a new machine,
Good
y'all.
afternoon, Brother Haki. How you doing today?
Fine. How are you?
Beautiful. Let me just say this now. You know, we getting conflicting messages in Baltimore about the power of voting. I just want to, we get it on these radio airwaves. Let me just share.
Well, we're not giving any. If we are, we for your correction, sir. Come forth, please.
No, not you. Of course, not you. But let me make a point. Why it matters? Did any of y'all see Jack Young put out the list of the top 10 violators for illegal dumping?
No, I didn't read that. Did you, Jason? Okay.
Yeah. But look at that.
And
list.
one of the companies was mistakenly put on there after they paid the fine.
Which one was that, Jason?
The one that was, I think, $40,000. It was a black contractor.
All right, but check that list, because P&J, and if this is the same P&J that get contracts in the city of Baltimore that's affiliated with Sheila Dixon and the Minority Contractors Association, and they owe $20,000. Accordingly, they're the top one on that list. I think we need. That's why voting matters. And if people are dumping things into the city, you got people on radio that work with P&J, but they won't say anything about that, but want to tell you not to vote every single week.
Brother Haki, that was one of the companies. Matter of fact, and Fox 45 had exposed the fact that the city didn't update the system and still shows them as outstanding. And they actually did an interview and spoke to the owner, and the owner said, "I don't owe that."
Okay, but he did at one time, right?
Right.
He owed something, and he ended up going to court, and I believe he paid a reduced fine. That was supposed to have taken that out of the system.
But still, he did it.
You wouldn't happen to have that list in front of you, would you?
I'll try to pull it up.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that update, but the fact of the matter is that company that's close to Sheila Dixon was one of the dirtiest companies that's pouring illegal substances and trash in our communities. We need to look at stuff like that. That's why voting matters.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Haki. Thank you so much. We're going to go next. Hill, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Comment. Good afternoon, Mr. Henderson, first-time caller.
Welcome.
As a young man in my early 20s, actually, I was just turning 20, and I was called for vote to serve as a juror. That's what I'm trying to say, as a juror. Then, about 2 years later, I was called to be an election judge. Now that I'm an older gentleman, semi-retired, I have time. I was just wondering if I would be qualified to be an election judge. I am visually impaired.
Okay.
So that's something I was just wondering about.
Well, Doc, can you help him out there?
Yes, I would suggest you do this. Call one of these two numbers, 410-396 5550
5550
or 5570.
Okay.
That's. I believe those are still the two numbers of the election board. Let them know of your challenge. My guess is that they will still need bodies to do different things, and all of them don't necessarily require strong visual
vision. Yes.
I would strongly suggest to anyone, if you have time and energy and interest, and you want to help, the election boards always need election judges, especially good ones.
In the last election, I was really busy with my business, but now I'm semi-retired. That's something I'm interested in again.
No, we commend you for it, and thank you, and definitely make the phone call.
I sure will. 5550 or
5550, or I believe it's also 5570. That's the city election board down 417 East Fayette Street.
East Fayette Street, yeah, I'm familiar. I done ran down there.
Well, thank you so much, y'all. I love it.
Good talking with y'all.
Thank you, and call in again. We love hearing from new listeners. We're going to go to Justin. Justin, go right ahead.
Hello, thank you for having me there. You got Doc and Patrick and Trump. I just want to make a comment.
Okay.
And my comment is this: that I just want to say about the Sun paper put out the weekend. Over the weekend, talking about what happened over the weekend, and they spotlighted the Art Social Club. They had the young lady that performed down there at the Billie Holiday birthday party, and she was on the cover. And inside, the very first item was about Art Social Club, and the rest of it about the different Black history stuff. So I just want to make a comment on that, and I ain't heard nobody talk about that. But
yeah, the little girl at my church yesterday did Billie Holiday. I didn't know so much about Billie Holiday for Black History Month. So, Baltimore's got some incredible icons, man. There's people that's come from here that's done stuff that has revolutionized the entertainment industry, the political landscape, and so much. We have so much to be proud of.
Yeah, well, I'm very thankful of that due to the fact that we been a recipient of some money and whatnot, and trying to revitalize Pennsylvania Avenue, and they had a picture about the Royal Theater and all. They had a whole lot of.
They did a nice expose.
And that weekend, so if anybody go by, I mean, they're free. They're on the corners. They're in yellow boxes. Just grab one and read about the Black history
and keep it.
Yeah,
that's what we don't really
exactly,
keep it. That's what I do. I go get them. I put them in my library. Years from ago, I'll go back and do it so I can go back and read it to be reminded. Thank you, sir, so much. We've got Diane. Is that Lady Di?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Fine, good heart, sweetheart. It was so good to see you last week down in Annapolis.
It was. I just want to say that you all know that Mayor Young signed into the the Hill in Baltimore, Elijah Cummings Trauma Act yesterday over at Douglas High School.
No, say that again.
Okay.
The trauma bill.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, it
yeah.
was a trauma bill, but they changed the name to Elisha Cummings.
Okay, yeah, I did read that. Yes.
Baltimore, the Hill in Baltimore, and it was really nice. A nice big turnout. You know, the young people. They told me that they were on fire at Morgan. They did a TED talk. Some of them did TED talk on Friday about their, their experience with trauma and stuff, and in their family and stuff, and how they overcome and stuff. I met 3 amazing young people yesterday. One he didn't speak. The young man, I just picked him up a couple of months ago as my adopted son because he likes a little teddy bear. But he didn't speak yesterday. But he's very quiet when he does speak. Maybe if y'all can get him on your show or something.
Well, you
like that.
set it up for us, and we will do it. The Bible says that they overcame by their testimonies.
Yes, and
we need to talk about it, about what's going on, and these young people need to be able to get it out so that not only we can encourage them, but realize what they're going through.
And they one of them, I think it was 2 young ladies, they went to Councilman Cohen's because of the shooting at Douglas High School. And they the one started this ball rolling. So we have to give them a lot of credit.
Yes, we do. But there was also, I noticed, what's the Jewish representative? He was there. Zev, is that his name? Zeke Cohen.
Zeke Cohen. Yeah, he the one sponsored the bill.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good look, for showing the community.
I was just wondering where the rest of the Baltimore City delegation was at, because I only saw a few representatives.
Leon Pinkett.
Right. All of them did vote for the bill. Every last one of them. I was there every time they had a hearing on the bill.
Okay, Diane. So what does the bill mean to the people?
So it's for it's trauma response. So they had the commissioner of the health commissioner. She was there. I did not know, and I don't know if you all know, they training representatives from the community association about trauma when trauma happens in our community, what to do. And they had a group called Baltimore Trauma Response with Dr. Humphrey. His group was there yesterday. They have a show here on
Dr. Lee.
WOLB on Saturdays.
Okay.
And Dr. Lee.
Called Writing what is it called, Jason? Writing the Narrative?
Changing the Narrative, Voices of Encouragement comes on every Saturday.
What time do you know?
From 4 o'clock to 5. All right. I bought up it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were there. They were also there too. And like I said, the health commission, she was there, and they talked about how trauma has affected not only the children, but it also affects the adults.
Yes.
And so that they go into
families.
They were children who had trauma, and nobody helped them, so they go into adults with trauma, and that's why we got this blood in the streets the way we have it.
I believe so too, Diane.
Yes.
It is so important. Trauma, we don't realize how scarred we are from not only our upbringing, but just trying to exist in this city. People tell their children, somebody hit you, you hit them back. And this is leading to more deaths. You have, these kids are tearing up these classrooms, throwing chairs at these teachers. It's just unbelievable what's going on. I tell you.
And not only tearing up the classrooms, like when I was in Baltimore County, where I had 2 twins, they fought every day. The bus driver would tell me when I waited for their bus, she was saying that they were on the bus fighting because they were moving from house to house, from Baltimore City to Baltimore County and back. So and they were little children, so they didn't understand because nobody was telling them why they kept moving the way they moved. And like you said, Patrick, you always say that we need to sit down and explain to our children, when the good and the bad.
That's right, and stop thinking that they're our children. They're our property. They are human beings.
Right, and they only on loan down here from God to us.
Yes.
They're not our property.
That's right, Doc. You called in plenty of time today. I love you, and always good to see you.
Love you. Hey, Doc, the number is 396-5580.
It's also 5550. I just tried it.
Okay, but I know the one because I'm and thank you, Doc, because I became election judge because of you.
Wow, God bless you.
Yeah, we thank you, Diane. We love you dearly. So for all that you do, bless you.
Right.
Really quick, family, you can go to Fox 45 News to find that article in reference to Baltimore releases the top perpetrators of illegal dumping. It was February 5th was the article, and to not to debunk what Brother Haki was saying, but according to this article, yes, P&J had an outstanding bill of $22,000, but Fox 45 obtained a copy of a dismissal that was against the contracting company, which had never been reposted or updated on the website.
Okay, now what I can't understand, we got that so easily in getting this corrected. How come Fox 45 don't print a bill of all these corporations and major companies that are not paying their water bills?
Yeah.
Okay, that they're not collecting. That's the one I want to know about. That's millions of dollars that the city needs.
Yeah, and they're in the process of an audit right now.
Who
I think
is?
The city is, and as far as the water department is concerned.
Oh, Lord, y'all.
Which they say is going to be completed in about 6 months.
In about 6 months, y'all. Y'all pray for me that I live to see it. Some of y'all are going to live. I ain't going to never live to see it. Every time they say audit, that means they're burying it. Okay, listen, you all. Here we are. Here we are. No matter where you are, you got to believe that God is. Oh, yes, God is. And if God is there, God is there. He is our peace. And he has broken down every wall. But God will not do what we will not do. You need to call the City Department of Public Works. You need to call the mayor's office. What's going on with these water bills? How come you can't get this money collected?
And there's a hearing coming up in reference to that. I know that my Councilman Christopher Burnett, and several other council members are holding a hearing in reference to water bills.
We'll keep you posted on that. And also, we want to find out what's going on. Doc, thank you so much for all that you do on this voting thing. Y'all just, he's a sitting dictionary of what's going on there, and he will explain to you. In Hampton, you know I love you, my brother, over on the east side. He is a brilliant man who has been on the battleground a long time, and we hope you weren't offended. I know we get a little short sometimes, but we got to remember that none of us are trying to hurt each other. We're only trying to help each other. You have been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore every Sunday at 3:30 on Spirit 1400. We're there, and every Monday at 11:30 we're here on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Thank you, Jason, and thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
And we're all praying for Richard. Hope he's well. He didn't call in today, so I'll check with him as soon as I get off the air. But y'all have a great week. And remember, the love that you give will come back to you. Nothing else comes back as easily as love that is shared and forgiveness. We bless you in the name of the Son of Jesus. Amen. Have a great, great week. Bye-bye.